classy shit, man. 1080p live stream. Yo.
Cheers. What up?
See if we get any. Oh, I don't see any comments. There
No,
we
I'm
go.
seeing
I had the comments closed.
Don't do that. Come on.
She was in the house.
That's not nice.
Currently
Who's
0.
there? Who's out there?
Currently at 0.
Yeah. Well,
Find out if anybody actually knows we exist today.
oh boy.
Live.
It's fall, man. People are busy taking their kids to school, and well, not now, but you know, people are busy doing stuff.
I hope it's not like says it's live. Let's see. Okay, I'm in the background. 6 concurrent viewers. If
Nice.
I'm in the background of
Hello, 6 people.
Hello, 6 people. Nobody's talking. All right, that's okay.
We are.
We can still chat. A couple weeks off for Dylan. And we're also noticing maybe people might notice there is a bit of a difference in the background today. And I'm actually going to be taking
and the foreground.
Yeah. Going to be taking people's. Yeah, Dylan shaved. Nobody's given Dylan a hard time for shaving.
Oh, it'll come. I know it will.
Oh, we've got the way they display the comments has changed.
Let's see this.
Wow.
Oh, nice. Oh, that's nice. That's interesting. That's like it looks like an Xbox notification almost.
Yeah. Jerker, we back, boys.
We back.
How's it going, Jerker? King Paco, how you guys? I got a few questions. We're doing good, I think.
That's what we're about. We're all about the questions.
Started to think Liberty Dude likes you more than me. Rick on Mike, happy Friday. Liberty Dude, welcome back, Dylan, and oh, you too, other guy. So sweet.
Gee, I wonder where you got that, Aiden. I don't know.
What?
Oh, that that there's maybe some favoritism going on here.
Yeah, nothing wrong with a clean shaven
I won't
face
say
until
no.
I shave, and then everyone's like, "What do you do? You psycho? You look weird."
Yeah, no, I look weird. I got a big forehead, so I feel like shaving just kind of emphasizes my large forehead.
King Paco, I need help choosing my next microphone as I'm confused about whether to pick Rode or Fifine. Currently, I have the AM8. Rode. Every single time over Fifine.
Not even a question.
Not even a question. Stomp on Fifine and go buy a Rode.
Yeah, get a Rode.
Yeah, no question. Hey, Outsider Jess, how's it going?
Hi, Jess.
Greetings from the UK. Beresford, greetings from the UK. All right, that's 2 people in a row there, man. UK
Nice.
represent.
Yeah.
U87 UI. UA87 UI. That's a fun one. Yeah, instead of Rode or Fifine, just buy Neumann.
Yeah. But and don't even U87. That's for chumps. You get a U89. You get the U89i.
Yeah, who needs that? I got my electric desk from Costco. It's glass and it's great. Nice. I went and I actually spent a decent amount of money on this because I knew it was going to be the background of my video, so I wanted to make sure it was going to look pretty. But holy crap, that's $2,400 sitting in the corner right there.
That's for studio furniture or for like office furniture. That's actually kind of cheap.
Yeah, that's just the desk and the monitor, to be perfectly fair, because I had to stick with the 43-inch because my main computer is a 43-inch. I didn't want to have a smaller monitor behind me because this is the one that I'm editing videos on. So for me to get a smaller monitor would be stupid. Yeah. DJ, Play Nice, how's it going, man? Go Rode. The Fifine AM8 is the best mic they have. Yeah, that's saying something. Dylan has his Halloween Fed look. Did you do anything for Halloween, Dylan?
No. We watched the first Smile movie because the second one just came out, and either of us have ever seen the first one. So
Smile?
Yeah, it's a horror movie.
Okay. Yeah.
It's kind of big talk now because of the sequel, but it was good. Yeah, watched some trick or treat. Just kind of depressing seeing over the years. Just I don't know all the lack of houses. You know, we're 12 stories up, so we get kind of bird's eye view of the whole neighborhood. And so I usually just stare down and just watch the trick-or-treaters walk in and just try to count the houses that are actually doing something. And I would say like 5 to 10% of houses. Like it's expensive now, I guess, like buying.
Sorry, my dog just like jumped up and hit the wrong spot. Okay.
Damn it, Bob.
Thanks, Bob. Thanks for hosting DJ Play Nice. Yeah. Did you get a lot of kids last night? Like, did they come to all the doors in the building? Did they make it?
Oh no, God, no. We never ever have trick-or-treaters in the apartment buildings. No.
Are they not allowed to come in or?
I don't know if there's any hard and fast rule about it, but nobody seems to attempt it regardless. I guess they just assume people in their apartments would be irritated.
Okay, you're a piece of shit if you're irritated at kids trick or treating. Come on.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna put it out there.
It's an apartment building though, man. The dynamic is weird. Like like you don't have neighbors here, right? Like I've lived on this floor in this apartment for like 2 years, and I couldn't tell you anybody's name. And that's not for lack of trying.
I actually know one of your neighbors' name. I met
because you had a I need to walk up and down the elevator with an unsheathed.
I think I got her phone number too, if I recall.
You were walking with the Denver acoustic bass. That's why. It's a conversation piece.
Yeah, it's not for anything romantic. Don't worry. She's also a musician. I was like, I might be able to use you.
Yeah, one of us will.
Desks are worth spending money on. See, that's the one thing. I built my old desk, which, I mean, it's not as sleek as a brand new production desk by no means, but my God, is it serviceable, and it holds everything. Like, I've probably had 500 pounds on that thing. Easy. Yeah. So,
and you obviously, my rig, this desk is old. It's maybe not the slickest looking, but I don't know where else I'm going to easily for cheap. And I got this desk for free. This is a gift. I just had to move it. And there's 14 unit racks on either side. I don't know where I'm going to find a reasonably priced 28 space rack desk.
Yeah. If you ever need a sit stand, you're fucked.
Well, at that point, I'd have to have a separate piece of furniture that's the rack, and then the desk would be its own thing.
That's not a bad idea, though. Getting your own rack, because you can then locate said rack in another room.
None of this stuff makes noise. None of it has active cooling, so I'm not actually concerned. The computer would be the first thing I would put in another room.
Yeah.
Because it can get I don't have any spinning hard drives, but I do have a dock that's got spinning hard drives, and just that little shh, on the other side of the room. It's like,
see, I'm looking forward to building my next PC. I'm not willing to put the money in because it's going to be like $4,000 next.
It's a lot. The last build I did was $5,000. Like, it's building a PC nowadays is not for the faint of heart.
My CPU cooler and I'm guessing it's my CPU cooler. It's just so freaking loud. I have to turn my computer off when I shoot videos. I've done it a few times where I've just like noped out and I'm like, nah. And then I've had people like comment like, oh my God, your ambient room sound is garbage. I'm like, yeah, that's because I've got a computer in the background.
Not
like,
that bad. Thanks. I mean,
when you
it's
start
sometimes
gaining it up, it's pretty bad.
Oh yeah, and you compress anything. But
I generally don't. But yeah, it's loud enough where it's like, what's that drone in the background?
Do you have what's your cooler?
It's the not Be Quiet. It's the Noctua.
Okay.
It's the big ass Noctua, and it's still like ramps up.
See that? Yeah, that's mine. I got two 120 mil Noctua fans on it. And I went with it because I said, okay, bigger fan, more fan real estate equals lower RPM for the same cubic feet airflow. And it's decent unless I'm doing something stupid rendering out a DaVinci Resolve clip. It's calm. It's very calm.
That's somebody saying they couldn't see my mic. That's Monutech Sounds. Just so you know, I'm using the Rode NTG3 on a boom that is just above my head.
Loving the asthma.
Last week I used this in a video, the Rode NT1 that is just stayed on the boom and kind of off to the side. For the most part, when I'm doing talking head or I'm doing live, I like to keep the boom because it's out of the way. And yeah. DJ Play Nice, 15 in chat and 2 likes. Fix this, guys.
Fix it.
I appreciate that, DJ Play Nice. That's sweet. Let's see them likes go through the roof. Monutech with another question. Hi, if we use the DBX 286, any microphone sounds the same. Is that true? No. That is nowhere near the same.
Wow.
A DBX 286 will influence the sound, and it will impart a sound on every microphone, but you'd need a separate DBX 286 for each microphone. Let's say you had 4 mics, you'd need a DBX 286 for each microphone, unless you're routing the audio, all of it out of one into the DBX 286, which is just a weird decision. But no, it does not.
What's a weird decision? Say that again.
If you were to route a patch of 4 microphones out and then into one some signal then through a DBX,
Don't
which would
do
be
that.
the dumbest thing you could ever do.
Don't do that.
I'm
Don't.
just saying,
You know,
dude.
you can split outputs. You cannot
Yes.
split inputs. So
No.
things you don't do that.
No, don't do.
This is why there is a specific thing called a summing mixer. That's job is to
Yes,
actively.
but what I'm using this as an example for like to impart the sound on all microphones. Each DBX 286 would have its own settings.
Yeah.
If you set them all the same.
Okay. So if the question is, can you use a DBX like that device on a bunch of mics to kind of try to balance them out and make them sound like each other? Then yes, but as Aiden said, you need the unit for each signal
microphone, and you would have to like really fine tune each signal.
Like you got to sit there with the EQ and
going back and forth between microphone sound, and it would take you a long time.
Honestly, you're better off just buying the same microphones.
Well, if you've got to go and buy a DBX 286 for each microphone, go and get a bunch of pod mic USBs and
or SM58s.
Beautiful. That's actually a great idea.
Like you'll save money and you'll have a bunch of stuff that sounds fine, you know?
Yep. Which interface you choose, Focusrite, Vocaster, or Rode? Elgato, Focusrite, Vocaster, Rode. Damn, that's one big word. Elgato, Focusrite, Vocaster, Rode. For price right now, Vocaster. 100%. Elgato, I'm not impressed with. I still haven't done the freaking video on that thing. The latency on my Elgato, the Wave XLR is garbage. Focusrite is like, that's your standard. Yeah, why not? Grab it. It's a base model interface. So it depends on what you're doing as well. If you're doing music out of all these, I would choose Focusrite. If you're doing spoken word, for price, I'd go Vocaster. It's the cheapest. And for feature set, I would go Rode. For spoken word. For music, forget everything else and go with the Focusrite. So, do you agree, Dylan?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it's a good summary.
Outsider Jess, for Halloween, I was listening to Epic the Musical on YouTube, and their latest saga made my jaw drop. Nice. Epic the Musical.
I like it. I like the sound of it already.
Yeah.
Two things I like: epic things and musicals.
Pigtown Sports says, I love my Magnus Pro XL. I wanted the XL. I don't man, I'm already going broke with this crap, but the XL was just the amount of room I have in here. The XL I think would have just irked me out a little bit. Like I would have been about 2 inches over. Kids don't make it past the witch's apartment on the 11th floor.
No.
Dylan, witch on the 11th floor. Dylan's like, no kids ever come here.
Yeah, because they get 8.
Okay, Pigtown Sports. This is one that I'm actually thinking about doing a video on because I've got a bunch of footage of me building the desk. I do have an issue with the desk and the cable management. You basically get this tunnel underneath in the back where you can just shove all your cables. The problem is you're shoving power, you're shoving XLR, you're shoving 1/4 inch. It's all just piled in there. And the issue is, like, you can see I've got a monitor riser on mine, and that monitor riser stops you from being able to access it very well. So you're just basically shoving shit in there unless you're pulling the desk out to do it. But then you have all this weight on the desk, so you don't really want to be pulling it out. So yes, it's cool, but like having separate for audio and for power would be nice.
In my case, my desk is similar. It's got one giant cable trough that I had you feeling around last time you were here for the giant D sub cables. That I've designated just for audio. And then power goes, because my desk has like a back plane, so you can run cables behind it and not see them. And so power and digital, like word clock cables, USB cables, all of that stuff goes outside of that trough. So I'm at least getting, I think somebody's going to correct me on this, but I think the guideline is at least 3 inches away for power. Digital is a different story because it's usually such low voltage, low amperage. It's not really a huge concern, but power specifically, especially if you have like a power conditioner cable that's like sucking up 15 amps. Yeah. The magnetic field on that is going to be a little ridiculous. So distance your power and audio cables if you can.
I'm kind of lucky with this desk because all I'm doing is video editing. Like that is it. I don't even have a mic hooked up on this desk. I'm literally doing video editing and that is it. It's meant to be my workstation, not, I don't even do Zoom calls from it because I don't want to. It's literally just for doing that. So it doesn't really matter when you're doing video or you're doing podcast editing. So anyways, yeah, I still think I might do a video reviewing it because there seems to be a lot of people wanting to know. There's a lot of misinformation out there about the Magnus Pros, by the way. Love spinning rust. Yeah, I don't have any spinning rust. I gotta go pick up a few and start storing all my video.
I'm planning, I think my next big purchase is I'm planning on building a 80 terabyte NAS.
Yeah.
Just because I use like spinning hard disks, like 3.5 inch internal hard drives as like VHS tapes. I have a bunch of 4 terabyte ones. I've got a few 500 gigs here and there for odds and ends. And having to regularly, because spinning drives don't have a longevity much past 5 years.
No.
And so all of these drives are more than 5 years old. So I regularly have to make backups. I have to check drive health. And trying to do that for 20 drives, like quarterly at least, is a pain in the ass. So having a system that kind of is built-in fault tolerant and is kind of doing a lot of that monitoring for me would be amazing. That would be a huge time saver.
Yeah. Liberty Dude, Mac Studio $3,500 package price is my target. I wanted to do the same thing for the amount of video I do. And I will have to say that with 3 to 4 4K video files skimming at the same time in Final Cut Pro, the thing starts to chug a little bit.
Well,
but it does handle it.
I had that in Resolve, where I had done like a multicam setup for a video that I just finished, and I had only like 5 angles in there, and they're all 1080p. And I found that even at quarter resolution on my preview, it was choppy and sluggish. And I'm like, what is happening? I don't have any color grading or anything on this. There's no reason why. I've got a 3060 Ti. This shouldn't be slow. And then I looked at it, and the multicam had live preview. So I was trying to pull 5 1080p feeds in the same vicinity at the same time. And I'm like, that's probably a hard drive issue, because that was running on spinning rust. Yeah. So you're capping out at your 110 megabytes a second.
Needless to say, Liberty Dude, if I could go back, I'd probably would have just pulled the trigger on a Mac Studio. I am starting to get to a point where I can max it out, the Mac Mini. That said, if I had gotten a little bit more RAM, I probably would have been fine. I like UK. Same mic, same desk, Sony cameras. I feel like you're copying my setup. I have somebody that pops into your place every once in a while to take pictures and send it back to me. Only when you're asleep. Don't worry. It's not creepy or anything. Yes, let's fill a room with DBX 286s. Oh, God. I've never been a fan of the 286.
Honestly, I'm gonna make so many enemies, but DBX kind of has a reputation. They work. They do what they're supposed to do. Do they do it amazingly? No, but they do what they're supposed to do. If you get a DBX compressor, it will compress. Yeah. It won't do it in the most elegant way, right? Same thing with their. I look at it a lot like the 52080, the Symmetrix, or the Symmetrix. That is a shitty channel strip. But it can run 24/7 with very little issues. They do have a pretty high failure rate after like 10 years though. But like, none these things though, again, I still think a DBX for the price point, because you're talking a couple $100 here, for a way for you to get familiar with the tools and how they work and get some hands-on, like, if I adjust the ratio, this is what, like, getting that tactile kind of hands-on learning. Getting a channel strip like that is great, because it's cheap and it helps you understand the software better.
I think we're also reaching that peak period where prosumer stuff doesn't last beyond 10 years anyways. Let's be perfectly honest.
Yeah, well, yeah.
You've got to spend over $1,000 if you want a 20-year product. I've hit record when using 286 and swapped out mics. Unless they're the same mics, they won't sound the same. Absolutely not.
Yeah, 100%. You'll have to tweak every single. You'll have to tweak the settings for every single mic.
It has a magnetic cable organizer kit for under desks, quite nice. I thought about doing that for underneath the desk and like just routing stuff around. The cable kit's like $100, and I'm not there yet. Again, this is just a video editing desk. and it's also kind of a background piece in a YouTube studio. So there's also
Well, and everything that you're doing at that workstation is in the box too. You're not recording any critical audio.
no.
And so the need in that case, because line level, really where it becomes an issue is mic level signals. Mic level signals are such a low voltage that when preamps go to grab them, if your cable isn't perfectly shielded, you're going to get some grumblies in there, or if you have a grounding issue. But if all you're doing is playback, for the most part, and dragging in assets, whatever. Run your cables all in one giant trough. Who cares?
Yeah. Jess says there's a standing desk with built-in cable management. I think the YouTuber Spawn Point did a setup vid about. Yeah, that's this one. This
Nice.
one has built-in. Actually, a lot of the higher end ones have built-in cable management. Whether or not it's good built-in cable management is beside the point. Most cable management's dirty. If you look behind Dylan's desk, although Dylan's a bit anal about things like that, he probably has his stuff perfectly tied off, and
it's not perfect, but certainly, like, I need to get access to. So a good example is I've got a power bar bolted to the underside of the desk on this side to power peripheral crap like the Fairlight desktop rig, and monitor, little things like that aren't rack gear but that still need power. And then I've got all these IEC power cables hanging out. So I've got those tied together so that they're not in the way when I need to get, so things like that. The audio cable I am anal about because I need to know where that signal is going and what it's next to, because that massively impacts my noise floor, as you know.
So I'm just doing a quick poll here. Do you like the new background?
I dig it.
Poll. See what people say. This is a good one. Manitech Sounds. Can we make any microphone sound good using EQ? Because I think every mic works based on some frequency. You are correct. And to a degree, kind of. If a microphone has, if a microphone distorts signal or distorts frequencies, there's no EQ in the world that's going to really help.
Well, and here's the thing. So I'm going to challenge that. Is EQs, and we're going to leave dynamic EQing and multiband stuff out of the conversation for a second.
Okay.
A little asterisk, put that over here. EQs affect a signal in a linear way. Microphones have a non-linear relationship with the frequencies that they capture. So,
okay, so can you so I try to put things as simple as possible. Now, can you actually unpack that for
totally.
Manutech right now?
Yeah. So when you have an EQ and you put a bell curve at like 1K, for example, 1 kilohertz, and you bump that by 1 dB, it will linearly, for the most part, excluding the logarithmices of frequencies and amplitude, but it will affect every 1 kilohertz. If 1K comes in, a 1K signal comes in, and you bump it by 1 dB, if it comes in at -17, it'll go to -16. If it comes in at -4, it'll go to -3. It's a linear relationship, based on the volume level. Microphones have different sensitivity, especially different technologies, dynamic mics, for example. Yep. The way they can't move as fast for the high frequency information. So the microphone's relationship, you need a lot more kick to get that same reproduction in like really, really high frequencies. So it's really hard to get an EQ to match a microphone exactly because the textures are different. EQs aren't really about textures. They're about frequency response. And those are two very different things, especially like if you try to take like a Rode NTR, the ribbon mic, and you try to match that to a U87.
Holy shit.
You're gonna, it's possible, but you're gonna need, like, I could do it probably with FabFilter Pro Q, which is my go-to EQ, which has dynamic EQ bands, which means you can tell the EQ bands, hey, if a signal comes in at 5K or in this bell curve I've created, and it goes above this threshold, knock that frequency down. So kind of like a hybrid of a compressor and an EQ. So the EQ then has a very non-linear relationship with the incoming frequencies.
That's cool. So, yes and no, but mostly no, Manutech. That's probably the best way to say it. You can, like, there are ways to make an SM58 sound like an SM7B. You get into more like taking an NT1, this NT1 that I've got here, and trying to make an SM7B sound like it. You're talking about like a skill set. where like if I were to ask Dylan, I'm going to give you audio from this SM7B and the audio from this NT1, and I want you to create a curve that makes them sound similar. Dylan could do it, but Dylan's also got years of experience setting up EQ for microphones.
Well, and it's not to say that with a regular EQ, you can't get mics within the ballpark of each other.
Yeah.
I think that's definitely true. Like if you want to get a 58 sound out of a 7B, I would drop the lows a touch and I would add some presence. I would put a little presence boost in there to simulate that transformer in the 58 that's not there in the SM7B. And yes, I'm saying it again, the SM7B does not have a transformer in it.
There's by the way, speaking of Shure, fascinating. So that SM58 that I bought, that turns out it's actually a fake, but
Really
I wanted to
good
get confirmation. I wanted to get confirmation. There's a few things that tell me it's fake, and I was able to ascertain. Well, the first one is sound, but when I contacted Shure, they refused to give me any details over the phone about what. Like I was like, okay, so I'll send you pictures, and they're like, well, we can't tell you because they're trade secrets. And they're like, we want to know where you got the microphone from. We want to know how much you paid for it, who the buyer was, and then they're like, we want you to send us detailed photos of the microphone. And I'm like, okay, so. I'm going to be sending them all in, but there's little things between an actual SM58 and this one that are different. And it's just the slightest differences aside from sound. Sound was very, very obvious. So we're going to be finding out. That's going to end up being a pretty big video, and I can't wait for it. Sorry for the tangent there.
No, I think it's interesting. I obviously Shure's trying to evaluate whether or not it's counterfeit.
Well,
which it obviously is.
I think they're trying to stay up on what counterfeit is, like what the standard for counterfeit is these days. Holy shit. Dogs just came in the door with a damn. Just run the power cable through a steel pipe, works wonders, but you have to make it huge or replace the connector at one end. Oh yeah.
Yeah. If you can come up with something that will act as basically a Faraday cage and just absorb all of the electromagnetic content coming off of that cable, then yeah, that works too. That's usually easier said than done, though. So I usually just prefer to try to separate the cables physically as much as possible, and that is a little easier in most cases.
Yeah. Emerging Loki, this is a great question. We're way behind on comments, by the way. I'm going to start picking and choosing between these.
We're both going on like intermittent tangents. Yeah. I'm not surprised.
Good evening, gents. Any more collaborations between myself, Podcastage, and Obscure Mics on the horizon? I am trying to set up another end-of-year stream. I haven't reached out yet, but if Bandrew's on the stream here, buddy, I'm going to be reaching out soon. I don't know if Bark is on the stream. I don't think Bark hangs out on the stream very much, but I'm going to reach out to him as well. As for collabs, like actually doing videos with them, it is hard. I've reached out to people. I've reached out to multiple creators, and a lot of them struggle with finding the time to do it. Bandrew, I can honestly say Bandrew is pinned. Like, dude has a full-time job. He's got 24 channels or something. He's going to struggle constantly to try to get any collaboration done. And it doesn't help that we live leagues away from each other, right? So if we were closer, it would be easier. As for Bark, I should reach out and see if Bark wants to do any collabs. That would actually be kind of fun. And, you know, I mean, bad little YouTuber, I haven't been reaching out. I haven't been keeping the lines of communication open, but everybody's so freaking busy too. Yeah. It's hard. Like, you always feel like you're bothering. Like, I chat with Tom Buck. Tom's another guy that's busy. We also have two very different styles that might not overlap for a collaboration. So, you know, there's a lot to think about. I would love to, and as this channel grows, I would love to like work on stuff like that with other creators. And like, there's stuff that I want to do. I want to do a video of like the best and worst of 2024, right? That kind of looking back over the year and kind of the way this channel's kind of gone through products. And I think it'd be a lot of fun. But that would also be something that would be really cool with other creators, right? Talking to them about like, what were their best moments this year? What were their worst moments? And yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see as time goes. This is not an easy job to do as full-time. And I mean, if you're like me and you have a family, it's even harder because now you just have enough time to get your stuff done. Now you're doing stuff for another putz that has another channel. That's hard.
Yeah.
What should I use? USB or XLR for the Rode microphone? That is use case. USB gives you all the DSP if you don't have a Rode interface. So USB if you don't have a Rode interface. It's the best way I can put it. Okay, skipping over. There's a new Mac Mini SR375. Yeah, I want one, but I can't buy one. Rick on Mike, I would never want to bake effects into my recordings. I can compress and undo all day long in my DAW. You cannot uncook bacon. I am quoting Dylan in saying that.
Yeah. No, I'm the same. I record in isolated scenarios. Even sometimes if I want to use hardware in a chain, I will record it. And then after the fact, I will run it through a loop and, run it back through the hardware. That way I have a safe copy, right? Because there are times creatively, especially with music, with something like voiceover, as long as I'm not going too aggressive, I don't mind, printing, a little bit of flattering EQ off the top and smoothing out some of the signal. Cause the human voice is a very dynamic instrument. And also if I know that I'm delivering to somebody that doesn't know what they're doing, which is common. I will sort of
pass. How often does that happen, Dylan?
All the time. All the time. And so in that case, I will somewhat pettily and passive aggressively, I'm like, I will do this for you because I don't trust you to do this. Only because I have voiced spots and then I've had them send them back to me because I'm like, hey, I want to know what that sounded like. And I listen to it and it's absolutely massacred.
Oh, dude, I voiced for a station in mid-Michigan, WMMI. And so I did all the voice stuff and they're like, I was like, I got my buddy produces, he can produce all this stuff for you, send you over basically great sounding voiceover. So all you got to do is put the music under it and you're good to go. And they're like, no, we got our producer on. And he sent me back some of the stuff. And I'm like, oh my God. Like you made me sound worse. How did you make me sound worse?
Yeah, a lot of times I don't know what it was for you, but for me, I find I get it back and it's boomy as hell.
Yes,
I don't know what it is.
It's like amped up the low end.
It's the low mid range. There's just like,
you're listening to WMLA Mid-Michigan.
Exactly, and I'm like, what are you doing? What world does that sound good? But again, we talked about it on the stream before. What sounds good is extremely subjective, and people often have what is called like a compound bias. So over the years, you start to deviate in a particular direction. I'm sure there will come a time in hopefully much, much later in my career where I'm putting out stuff and I'm going back to old stuff I've done and go, oh God, when did that sound good to me?
Yeah, I've been there too. Liberty Dude, EQ sound good, sound different than it does, and sound better, not necessarily sound good. Bad mics might be beyond EQ. That is very true. Like some mics, a pile. There's no EQ that you can do to save that microphone. Some of the frequencies are just trash, and
it's not worth it. Just get the right tool.
Get an SM58.
And this is why people that don't understand why like a U87 is worth $4,500. The reason is because it's pretty flattering out of the gate on most things. There's some voices that have like a little bit of a bump in the 1K range that it kind of accentuates in a not super flattering way. But other than that, most things, instruments and voices are pretty receptive to the U87, just flat. Even the SM7B, as much as I love this thing, I use this thing all the freaking time. It needs finesse. It needs finesse. It needs some love. I know how my voice sounds good on, but the second, like if you came here, Aiden, and you were like, oh, I'm going to voice through your SM7, like it's plugged in the Neve, the Neve's plugged in the Madison. All those things are coloring the sound a different way. I'm like, I'm going to have to spend a day sculpting out a curve for you. It'll sound amazing.
Oh yeah.
I've gotten a chance to fine tune that curve, and get the right processing on you. But God, it's a time intensive process sometimes.
Oh yeah. Dab Burke. Long time no see. He says, hey guys, hi Dylan. It's your Winnipeg bud here. Been a while.
Yes, sir. No worries. No, good to have you.
Everyone's busy. It's
busy. I just called Dab actually recently. I think this week. Correct me, Dab. I forget what day, but it's just honestly fall, especially like I work in traditional media, so fall is our stupid time of year. Fall is not only the time where everybody's going on spotty vacations, but also it's like Black Friday, Christmas, New Year's. Like just everything, right? I did like 17 Christmas spots today. You got to be like,
oh fuck, we're already there. Eh?
Yep.
Yeah, I guess day after Halloween too. Frequency response of the mic plays a role. If you're not capturing a frequency range, there's no way to recover it. Yeah, that's the other thing. That's also part of interface issues as well. So you took the transformer out of a 57. Now it's time to add a transformer to an SM7B. I want to do this. It would be easy enough to do. But why? Yeah.
Do something weird, like do some research on transformers that aren't necessarily stock that people have used. I mean, you could literally just take an SM58, melt the resin, take the use.
I've still got the transformer sitting up there on the shelf.
Yeah, you use a 58 transformer and just stick it in a 7B, or get a different transformer and just see how it compares.
Yeah.
You can borrow my unscathed.
What if I
7B.
use like an old transformer from like a 1930s radio?
Apples and oranges, man.
You sure?
The amount of windings, the type of transformer.
I know.
Like, yeah, I was gonna say you have family members that make their own. So,
yeah.
I mean, you might be able to mod one.
That's what I'm thinking, like modding one and like.
I would honestly, I would build a transformer like just willy-nilly, just for shits. It might be terrible, but it would be a fun piece of content.
I do want to build I want to create a dynamic mic. They're relatively simple to make.
Yeah, honestly, take a speaker cone out of something. And like for those, okay, I wouldn't recommend trying this with a expensive microphone, but if you've got a shitty dynamic like a Behringer XM1800S or whatever, plug it into a headphone output of like a stereo, and you'll hear the sound coming out of the capsule of the mic. That mic is probably not going to work the same ever again, especially if you crank the hell out of it. But it's that the technology is reversible. In fact, there are some consumer electronics that actually utilize the same speaker cone for a speaker, and then when you press a button, it becomes a microphone. And so you get kind of a simplex back and forth little piece there. But anyway, in content ideas for sure.
Dimebag, I will not have any bad mouthing of Tom. Tom is a delightful human being. When I met him, his humor might not be for everybody. I mean, that's neither here nor there. My humor, I know, is not for everybody.
Well, humor in general, it's so subjective, right? It's such a taste-based thing.
Tom is one of the, he's just a delightful human being. He's one of those people that's hard to find something bad to say about him. Like when I met him, we're completely different human beings. He's an old teacher. So, when you have somebody that's like in that teacher mode, that's very prim and proper, that's very much like him. He's very proper. I am not. I am an ex-truck driver who's worked in broadcasting. We're very different people. But like every time I've talked to him, like he's been nothing but the most just an upstanding human being. I love that guy. He's great. Custom wound transformers. Yeah, I wonder how much people would fall asleep.
I mean, I wouldn't get into it too deep. Just basically like, here's an iron core, here's some magnet wire I got. Don't get into the math of it, because then you'll lose people. But okay, basically here's what I did. And then I would allude to the fact that there is math involved into your winding ratios, right?
Yeah.
But you don't need to dig it, because that's not what this channel's for.
I wonder, I bet my father-in-law would just be like tickled pink to be part of that. He'd be like, oh, let's do it.
Oh man, I would. He would be an interesting guy to talk to about, because he's got a lot of experience with that.
Well, also his buddy, his name's not Daryl. Anyways, his buddy, he was the main sound engineer for IMAX. So every IMAX studio in the world, the sound sculpt for that each studio was done by him.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy's brilliant. And he actually created a guitar lineup a few years ago where he was creating his own electric guitars. This was his retirement, and he winds his own pickups. So that's cool. He had a pickup winder where he would be winding, and it would count exactly 5,000 winds for the pickup.
I mean, if you know how to make a transformer, you know how to make a pickup. right? Like,
It's but yeah, I mean, but he would have it doing it so it would be like loading up different frequencies it's just fascinating to see the way he did it. Yeah, that would be interesting. Like bring see if they'd mind going on camera time. That would be a lot of fun.
yeah.
But all right. People are not Daryl, his other brother Daryl. It's exactly who it is. We caught up to the comments. You guys can start commenting again.
There we go. Yeah, people are like, oh, they're never gonna get to this. God damn it.
It was the past week. I'm getting back to do a few more microphone reviews, which I've actually stepped away from for a little while. Not because I tried, but it's been there's reasons behind what I'm doing. But I got the new Sennheiser, not the new one, but it's a cheaper Sennheiser mic that somebody requested that I'm doing a review on. I can't even remember the name of the freaking mic. Sennheiser switch mic. Anyways, I've got that coming up on Monday. I've got a couple more. We're getting into the season where there's new products being shipped out that haven't been announced yet by multiple different companies. And some of those are coming in. So over the next couple of weeks, it's going to be pretty hairy. And I don't know my ass from a hole in the ground most days on what I'm working on and what's coming up. I have, I think, 2 videos in the coffers that are ready to go. And those are always there just in case, like, I'm like, you know, elbow deep on a video and all of a sudden I'm like, oh crap, I need a video for Monday. So just keep that in mind. The next couple weeks, next couple months are going to be a little crazy. Up until December, it's kind of wild. But I do believe I've got all of my, have you thought about NAB, Dylan?
It's so far away. I know it's not. You're gonna say it's not as far away, but it's like I'm an employee. We can't plan that far in advance.
That's okay. I'm not. I was just curious.
Yeah.
Because I booked hotel. I've just got to book. Staying at the Excalibur. Have you ever seen the Excalibur hotel in Vegas?
I have not been anywhere near Vegas.
If you want a fantastic fucking laugh, Google the Excalibur hotel. It is probably the most ridiculous thing ever. And by the way, if y'all are coming out to NAB or NAB and you want to be in the same hotel as us or me, perhaps, I don't know if Dylan's coming, Excalibur Hotel, which is just
what?
Yeah. Yeah. I love this. Oh God.
Why?
Because it was cheap. It was,
but I mean, like, what? It looks like that. Why? Oh my goodness.
Oh, SR37. It is not gross. It is just, it's thematic, I guess is the way you can put it.
It looks like a Disney resort.
It was so, and I know where it is, and this is the thing. So it's right by the monorail in Vegas, which is like, that is the only thing you need to transport between the conference and back to your hotel. If you get too far away from the monorail, then you're taking buses and it can take forever. The monorail goes right there. So you kind of want to be somewhere on the monorail line. And out of all the hotels on the monorail line, that is the one where I'm like, okay, so I don't want to spend over $1,000 on hotel.
Yeah. So, and as soon as you go to Vegas, you're already going to be knee deep in
the food. Dude, the food is, so let's say I go alone, I'm going to spend about $700 on food.
Jesus.
And that's not eating great either. That's just the food.
Oh yeah, like White Castle and In-N-Out and like all
that. I went to Denny's because the Denny's was right outside of the hotel I was staying at last year.
That's a Denny's too.
Denny's, $24 for us, just the normal Denny's. I think it was the Grand Slam. $24 US. Now, for our American friends, we have a Canadian ruble that is about 30% less than the American dollar. So for something that was $24, I'm spending approximately close to 30 Canadian dollars. So I spent 30 of my own dollars to eat at Denny's. To eat
one meal. Here, like I would spend about that probably for something like Chinese food or Indian food, like $30 a person. But for Denny's, no. That's not what Denny's would cost.
Wait. Okay. Liberty Dude's saying there's something funky going on with my audio. Tell me what the audio is. I'm going to open this up and I'm gonna see what's happening here. Do I sound like I'm in a tin can? How about that? Okay. I wonder. Sounds not consistently like thing desk pops and voice chuffing. Repeat.
Voice chopping.
I've never heard that voice chuffing.
That's
Anyways, I should go back to the Outsider Jess. I just turned off all the processing. I'm going through the Streamer X right now, and I'm also on a shotgun mic. So if I move back and forth, there could be a little bit of
some phasing.
some phasing. Which I'm looking to get a hold of the MKE 600, I think it is, or MK 50 from Sennheiser. So I can like maybe get away from the shotgun stuff, like get a short shotgun. Outsider Jess, if Aiden makes a dynamic mic and sells it out, buy it. Damn right.
Nice.
I wanted to make one myself, but I don't know how to weld. You don't need to know how to weld. You need to know the concepts of a dynamic mic, and there's a bunch of things online that'll show you how to make a very, very kind of rudimentary,
Crude
dynamic mic, and that's what I'd be going for.
I'm echoing.
Are you echoing again?
Yep.
Is anyone hearing echo? Let's scroll
Echo.
down and see if
Echo.
I turned up on Dylan's reverb. Okay, so 1 second, please.
Yes, how to solder. That's very important.
I haven't been working with this. Oh, there's why. Okay, sorry. Some reason this changed. How's that now? Are you still
Check.
echoing, Dylan?
Nope, we're good.
For some reason, it reset when I went back in.
Oh.
Okay, that's all good. That's all good. That's done. Okay, so we are good. Dylan's done. Echo done. So yeah, I would love to like partner with SE or something. The Dark Corner Studios SE mic. So as for the sound on the microphone, Liberty Dude, let me know if anything's changed. I love this. If Disney was on LSD, yeah. Looks like Disney threw up on a hotel. I love all this. Monorail. I like it, UK. Wow, that hotel. See, this was there's like a Little New York. They have this all over Vegas. If you haven't been to Vegas, if you've been to Vegas, I'm probably not doing it justice. But there's like Little New York, and there's Little Paris, and there's all these little places you can go to. And I was right beside Little New York, obviously, and that's where this is beside. And I would always see it in the distance while I was walking. I was just like kind of chuckling to myself because it'd be a great place for kids. I'm sure they have like jousting and shit like that. Which,
Oh yeah.
I mean, I'd go to dinner to watch a joust. Why not? But
Yeah, why not? You're there.
the rooms are comically boring comparatively.
Oh, really? That's
Yeah,
funny.
like they're just normal rooms. You don't have like suits of armor or anything. Looks like Walt did some badass.
Yeah, accurate.
So sounds not consistently on things. Desk pops and voice chopping. I'm kind of curious what that is. Wow, you guys are getting ripped off. Ripped off? Come on. Shotgun wedding. Soldering. Soldering an SMD hot air station is essential. Yeah, I mean, if you're doing a really, really rudimentary one, soldering is the most important one. Echo's gone. Dylan, your sound is horrible. Dab.
That's new. Is it? I don't know. I can't hear myself through anything. So you would know better than I do, Aiden.
You sound perfectly fine to me. This is
I don't know. Maybe there's compression on the.
I have to point out, guys, that everything in StreamYard has changed, and I think all their settings have revamped. Like if you notice, how the comments are coming up changed. Everything across the board has, and they've re-updated a bunch of stuff. So if there's issues with the audio, I'm hearing everything perfectly fine from Streamer X through the Streamer X from Dylan. So whatever's happening is happening when it goes
on the
in.
YouTube side. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. We're almost done here, and we'll actually have to like go back and I'm gonna pull out the Rodecaster video and just keep that on my desk as the live stream. I had the Streamer X already plugged in. I'm like, what the hell? Why not? So, but I don't think it's the Streamer X because I just changed my settings back. So I'm not looping USB 1. Oh, now it's back. Why is it doing that? I'm just going to keep this open in the background. It's good now. Sounds good to me. Okay. Large latency on Dylan. Interesting.
Large latency. So sorry, saying my video and my audio isn't synced. Is that what we're?
Yeah, I would say
that's normal. There's not much we can do about that.
That's kind of down to Dylan's camera versus Dylan's.
Well,
so,
StreamYard should be able to sync that stuff up though, because when I record, just like if I record a video clip with this camera, just using Windows camera, it's synced up.
Yeah.
So StreamYard's got to be doing something sync wise.
Liberty dude, if you are in Vegas and spending tons of time in your room, you're doing it wrong. Here's the thing about me going to Vegas though. I was working on videos the whole time I was there.
Yeah, you're there to work, right? It's not a vacation.
And like I did a little bit. I think I had 2 hours in a casino. I didn't really want to. I didn't want to like take away from why I'd gone there, because I'm spending a couple grand to do it, and I'm doing it to put out content. And while I kind of I would love to go there and just fuck around, yeah, it's tough. It's tough. There's a lot of money involved in that too.
Money and time. I mean, to dedicate, however, like a week at least, just to do nothing. That's a good chunk of time.
And you know what? I mean, it's like there's a lot of shows. Everything you do in Vegas is expensive, and it's set up that way. Like if you want to go see a show, like if Celine Dion was still down there, I would like mow everybody down to go see her sing. Holy crap. I think Adele is doing a thing down there. I don't really care about Adele that much. Like, cool, it'd be cool. Celine Dion, though, like, yeah, please.
It's funny, the old saying, Vegas, the elephant's graveyard.
Yeah. It's, well, I mean, like Celine Dion.
It's kind of the, I mean, Celine Dion's having a comeback, but for the most part, like Shania Twain ended up there. Like it's the place that artists kind of go to retire, essentially.
Well, I mean, but it's only I'm sorry, I don't want to see a magic show. I really don't give a shit about that.
No.
And if I'm going to watch a band play, it better be a band that is like either on my bucket list or is going to blow me the fuck away with a
no. And I'm not a huge gambler either. Like my brain is too mathematic to accept the risks of gambling. Just without going like, oh no, like I'll go to a casino with a $40 budget. I will spend the $40 and I will leave.
Yeah, well, that's what you do. Like I went in with 100. So what really fucked up was I went into the casino not knowing, because you walk through casinos to get everywhere. Like if you're staying anywhere, you've got to walk through a freaking casino. And there's one time I'm like, you know what? I'll play some blackjack. I love playing blackjack. Cool. So I went to the ATM to pull money out. It was a $40 US fee to use the ATM. So I pulled out $100 US. With a $40
just to get money. You're spending $40 just to get, that's my entire gambling budget.
Yeah. On top of that, then you had the ATM, or the not the ATM, but the exchange rate, which was done by the ATM.
Yeah, so that's 40 US. Oh my God.
Guess how much that $100 US, how much it cost me Canadian to pull out?
60?
$200 Canadian.
$200. My God.
No, I meant like the full total, like along with the 100. So technically it cost me $70 to pull out $100. That's ridiculous.
See, like, and I don't knock anybody that does gambling. Like, there is a rush. There's definitely an adrenaline thing with gambling, and I understand why people get so much enjoyment and entertainment out of it. But oh my God, like just spending that much money, you're not even in the door yet. You're just getting what you need to go in the door. That's wild.
And how many hours worshiping the porcelain god? I don't drink, so that helps. I've had like 3 drinks over the past year. Celine, oi, how dare you, Dab? How dare you? Nickelback, no. The voice chucking is gone. Hollow thin desk pop gone too. I'm guessing that was the
hollow sound's back. Oh, it's your hands in your face.
Yeah. I'm guessing that was the processing on the Streamer X, which I don't have set up and was turned on apparently without my knowledge. I usually turn all that crap off, but when you close Road Central with the Streamer X, I think it resets everything, which is kind of weird. I'm gonna have to look into that. Holy ships. FYI, ATMs on cruise ships have cheaper fees. I don't doubt it.
And that's wild, because there you would think it'd be the other way around, because there you have a captive audience.
Dimebag, are you telling me I'm a degenerate? I am not. I just don't like Nickelback. Nickelback's gross. To clarify, in Vegas, as long as it doesn't scream hooker hotel room is clean, worrying about room is a waste. Oh, so
Oh
the
God.
place where my
That laugh
wife
coming out of that is not good.
my wife booked me last year. And she booked me into this place that's right across from the tube, the monorail. But it was this cheap, you know, where you walk outside to get to your room, and it's like this row of rooms outside, like it's not yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
There was people knocking on my door at 2 a.m. Somebody tried getting into my hotel. It was definitely a targeted place for sex workers, which is fine. I don't care about that. I really don't care about that.
Yeah.
But then it's the people that are generally
Yeah, it's
acquiring
it's the
these
people that
sex
are
workers.
attracted to those services, right?
Yes, exactly. It's definitely not the sex workers are just there doing their freaking job.
Yeah, they're just there to make money, whatever.
The-
Everybody's somewhere to make
The
money.
idiots that were like loud and slamming on doors and being dicks, yeah, that was rough. So this year I'm like, no, I'm not staying there. I had my first couple nights there. I didn't get a lot of sleep because I didn't know what the hell was going on.
Okay.
And then after I realized that it's just idiots, I was able to sleep through it. But yeah, it was a rough time.
Not fun.
Definitely a rough time in Vegas. This year will be different. I keep telling myself.
Just keep telling yourself that.
So next week I'm going to be running the Roadcaster video. Enough with this crap, but thank you very much. I wish I'd known there was audio problems. The worst part is I don't hear any of this, and I'm starting to wonder if there's a. So in the settings with StreamYard, there's a few settings that you have to turn on. Echo cancellation is the one, and the echo cancellation combined with the processing off the Streamer X, I think, was doing some funky stuff on the exit because the audio I'm hearing sounds perfectly fine. That's kind of weird. Anyhow, those same idiots look down on sex work as well. Yeah, no kidding, right? Like, I mean, let them do their job.
Yeah.
Oh, but also what's fun about that, like staying there, I was coming back from NAB, I think the third day I was there, and I was crossing the street by a hotel, and I look over and I see this woman walking down the street. I'm like, that woman doesn't have any pants on. Pretty sure that woman has no pants on. So I keep walking. The problem is the way she's walking, I'm crossing the street, and then it's going to look like I'm walking behind her. So I'm really awkward. Like, I don't know what to do in social situations like this. And it turns out as I get in behind her, no, she had no pants on. She had no underwear on, nothing. Just a shirt. Just walking down the street. I'm like, okay, so I can't continue to walk behind her. That is clear. Or I'm going to either have to pull back, stop for like 5 minutes to let her get enough of a head start so it doesn't look like I'm a weirdo, or I can pass her. And my hotel's close and I want to get back to my hotel. So I start to walk a little faster and I'm passing her. But then you get this moment where this recognition where she looks at me while I look over at her, and then you got to say something, right? You're like, what do you say? So I looked at her. I'm like, I almost wore the same thing as you today. And I kept walking. It was just really weird. But
Weird
bless her.
dynamic.
Yeah, bless her. Just walking down the street, no pants. I'm like, damn. So yeah, there is some benefit. There's some entertainment benefit to staying in some of those seedier places.
Oh yeah, if you've got the stomach for it, if prim and proper is your thing, quote unquote.
Yeah, well, I'm staying at a friggin' Disney paradise this year. Prim and proper isn't going to be what it's about.
No.
Jess says I wasn't hearing any audio problems unless it's echo. Good to know. That's a public situation. It's still social. Whenever you have to interact with somebody, it's a social situation. We know which one of you is the weirdo. Oh, it's 100% me. 100%. Like, but yeah, it is awkward because why aren't you wearing pants? And also you have like, am I going to mention, hey, you're not wearing any pants?
No, you're not. Just
No.
keep walking. Ignore it. That's, I don't know, just street smarts, right? Just
classic dad joke. Jess, you know what the funny thing is about that joke is I've used it my whole life, but I used to use it under a different context. If I found somebody attractive at the bar, that was usually the line I would start with. And it always got like a, and then it would start a conversation 100% of the time.
Break some ice, diffuse some tension.
So I don't know why I reached for it in that moment where my brain is just like kind of cycling and going, find something to talk about. And all of a sudden I just blurted that out. I'm like, all right. So yeah, definitely a decent dad joke, but walk in front of her so she can see which room is yours. No, no. I love my wife
Yeah.
very much so. And that's the one thing they say, things stay in Vegas. They don't really when you take them home on the plane with you.
No,
and need medication to cure.
That rule applied pre-internet.
That rule applies to single people. That is it. There's if you are married and going to Vegas and doing that kind of stuff, you know shit's coming down the hill at you. You know it. There's
you're not getting what goes around comes around. Yeah. Don't be an idiot.
Yeah. It's I mean, to each their own that want to do what they want to do. But for me, I'm like, yeah, no, I'm okay. I was walking like 20,000 steps a day. I was covered in greasy sweat.
Yeah, because it's not cold. It's not cold in Vegas.
Nothing like an STD is a constant reminder. That itch reminds me of you. That's so sweet. And on that note, we're ending the stream, guys. Thanks for coming out. This started as a Magnus Pro sit-stand desk chat, and it turned into that. Anyways, have yourself a great week, guys. We'll see you next week. Hopefully, I think all of the staying away. I wanted to say that, but was trying to be nice. Nice. We'll leave it with that. Yeah, we should be next week. So have yourself a great week, guys, and we'll see you then.
Catch you next week.